And that microphone is on. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board. And yay, Sophie is happy. Oh, and I'm still trying to figure out our keg of Kevins. That's pretty awesome, you guys. All right, looks like we got some beautiful bacon on the screen there. Of course, that is the same can from yesterday. I just carried on with it. Like I said, that can is about 9 hours worth, and I am happy I actually loaded that up and recorded it back then. Anyway, glad to have you all on board today. Of course, I'm your host, DrFox2000, and you are watching VolcanoX live stream. And that doesn't mean that all the volcanoes we look at are live, just so you know. And thank you for the welcomes. Can I share Kevin's cookies? Oh boy, I don't know. You better talk to Kevin. But I did leave a whole tray full there in the lounge. There's Kevin Williams' cookies. And thank you, Sharon Stewart. I can hear you. Oz says, I am here. Are you there? Hang on, let me check, Oz. Yep, I'm here. And they're coming to get me by the sounds of things. I hear sirens. Oh boy. Anyway, all cool. So, all right, we gave the cookies away. We hear the sirens. We've got lava on the screen. What more do we want? Oh, how about a 3-hour nap? Henry Nelson said he was going to volunteer to do the stream while I go have a nap. Dr. Fox, you can't be here. I am here. You are there. Ah, Piggy. Hang on. I thought you're there, and I'm here. Oh my God, this is going to get really confusing. Oh wow, it's too bad you can't see my arms. I'm pointing in either direction. Over there, right? And anyway, all good, you guys. So we'll always start the show out with a little bit of fun. It's who's on first and what's on second kind of thing. There you go, Linda. And I don't know who's on third. Or I don't know who's on third. Oh boy. It is just crazy. Anyway, glad what over there or over here? Yeah, over there. Could be over there, Piggy. Maybe over there too, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, glad to have you all on board. Enough of the shenanigans. Let's get at what we do best here, and that is talk about wonderful volcanoes all over the place. So we will leave our fine canned lava. Actually, we'll turn that banner off first. I wanted to do that, and click. There we go. That way it's uninterrupted in the middle of the screen there. And of course, that is Cumbre Vieja from, let's see, what is the date on that file? It is the 3rd of December is when that happened of last year. So not quite 1 full year old, but that can was still pretty darn hot when I put the lid on it last night. Anyway, let's continue on, and we'll take a look over in that other place, wonderful Iceland, where it is dark. And it's not raining. That's a good thing. Let's go back a few hours. Let's try about 9 hours back and see what their day looked like there at Reykjavik in the capital city of Iceland. And you see some clouds off in the distance. Not bad though. It doesn't look like it's raining or anything. We do have some dark clouds up there, so they likely did get some rain during the day. The other view, of course, which wants to be stubborn and change itself back to local quality. Anyway, the airport is there, the regional airport that is. Downtown is actually over there. And we're not seeing too much. Let's go back about 9 hours as well on this one. just so we can see what it looked like. And there you go, some high rain clouds. And it does look like it's raining in a few places further out in the water there, but that is okay. And now you can see the runways of the regional airport, as they call it, and downtown in daylight. And there you go. And of course the very pointy church over here, the one we drove around when I was there, and I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, let's put that back onto live, and the other one as well, then we will go take a quick peek over, and we'll go about 9 hours ago as well, over at Katla. And I don't know why. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Don't think it was very visible. And Katla, of course, would be here in the ice fields, or underneath the ice fields over here, and we're not seeing it. Even if we go ahead a little bit, it was kind of a gloomy day there, and got dark early. Oh, you can see the ice fields a little bit in this shot just before the sunset. And the sun is actually very low there, so very cool. Anyway, I do want to say hi to everyone in here, so let's get at that. I'm going to do that real quick, since we'll leave that on the screen for right now. Blue, yes, it does look blue. And welcome to Sasha, and then of course we already got our, actually I should say the moderators first, which is Arizona Snowman and Piggy, of course, being here, and then a C&D Boy, possibly Gary 24/7 Live, he's at Skies, as well as Joseph Fields and Lucas Snow, and perhaps a few others. Those are the wonderful moderators, and Piggy is the one that is in the chat right now, of course. So please be kind and give her that respect, and everybody will be okay, because if Piggy has to put Pop It on there, we're all in trouble. Run and hide. Anyway, let's say hi to everyone. Welcome Sandra Rockland and Oz and Sasha, Kevin Williams, of course, who got the cookies, Sharon Stewart, Sue Hayes, and let's go up some more. See who else I missed here. Linda Schoof. We've got Philomena is here. Welcome, Philomena. And Billy Bob Joe, also here, as well as Henry Nelson, and going up some more, looking for more Kevins. Did I say welcome to Oz? Oz is here, and glad to have you on board, Oz. Going up some more, did I say Sophie? Yeah, Sophie was excited. Yay! Anyway, going up a little bit more. King Colin Deadman, also here, and of course Kevin Linda Schoof in the house as well. Or did I get that right? Or is it Linda Kevin Schoof? Boy, never mind. Scott Hartman, yeah, we got you. And going up some more, looking for other names, and trying to find. There's Kevin Williams there, and Juliet. Welcome, glad to have you here. An easy name. And let's see, who else we got? OneFish26. Welcome, good to see you. And scrolling up some more, looking for more wonderful names. And I know there were more Kevins in here. We got Kevin Haynes, Kevin Williams, and who was the other Kevin that I seen in here? Boy, lots of Kevins. I guess a keg of Kevins is what we've got. And going up a little bit more here, looking for the other Kevin. I haven't seen him yet, but I'm still scrolling up, so I'm sure we'll find him sooner or later. These Kevins are bound to be in a keg somewhere. And let's see, who else we got? We got Colin, got Henry, got Sasha. I'm looking, still looking. Billy Bob Joe we got. And still scrolling up here. Holy mackerel, that's a big long list of names. Especially when you guys are so chatty, which is all good. And that is actually a good thing in a chat channel, that everybody gets in there and chats a little bit. and makes for a very happy lava family. And scrolling up a little bit more here, trying to find more wonderful names that I likely have missed. And I'm up as far as I can go. I don't see the other Kevin in here. Holy mackerel, he's better say his name again, otherwise we're going to end up in trouble. Okay, yak. What, Linda? Chatty. Okay, alright, let's get on with it. No more chatting. I'll just pop over here. No chatting from me anymore, I promise. There. Oh, hang on, you want me to talk about the chart? Let's refresh it first and see what we've got. And there we go. And well, actually, and this is interesting, I'm going to say that, and there's a reason for it. We do have a few spikes in here indicating some quakes in the area, and that is always a good thing. We have a kettle of Kevins. A kettle of Kevins. That is pretty cool. What is that name? I'm trying to say that without Progress 6. Not sure, but welcome anyway. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to check an email here real quick. Sorry, you guys. Yeah. Yeah, Piggy, you know what to do. Keep an eye on it. Anyway, all good. So, okay, looking at the chart, as I was saying, and before I got sidetracked by a little squirrel moment, we do see a lot of little spikes. This is a good thing. But anyway, let's zip up and have a quick look at Astja. And there's Astja's chart. Still broken, unfortunately, and even if we try refreshing one more time. So Astja not going to show up today, and we'll slide back down and take a look at some of the other charts. Grimsey being our next one, and Grimsey of course is the northern island way up on the northern end of Iceland. And we see that we are still seeing an increase in activity there as far as things going up. This does not mean that we are going to get an eruption up there, but it does show that we have a seismic activity of sorts, and we'll see. But keeping fingers crossed, we may get something to pop. You never know. Anyway, let's take a look at the Grindavik while we're in the area. And of course, you see an up and of course a down, and that is not fun. That down momentum is not good for that area, but hey, we don't mind it, that one being down a little bit. And let's look at the other one that we suspect is our herdibride, and that would be this guy here. And if this is indeed herdibride, it's going to be interesting to see what just happened there in the last couple of hours, because that is a lot of quakes, and that would indicate something major. But we'll take a look at it on the earthquake map and see what we've got going on there. And I wasn't aware of this, so this is new to me as well. Hey, One Fish, renewed for 10 months. Thank you, One Fish. That is awesome. Going to put this back on Fragile Fjall, and then we will go over and have a look at our wonderful earthquake map and see what we've got on there. And let's get over to it. And come on, switch over, and there we go. It switched, but it didn't it zoomed in too much. I was looking at things, sorry. Anyway, let's start out here in the water. We've got a 1.3, a 1.1 kilometers down from 6:04 a.m. And now let's go to the Reykjanes Peninsula, and of course that is this area. Reykjavik, the capital city, right there, and Keflavik Airport, Keflavik, Reykjanesbær, Jarvik, right in there on that corner. And then of course when we look down here, there's the town of Grindavik. And if we go back up just a little, there you see the Blue Lagoon, the power plant, a hotel there, and that kind of puts you into where we are, gives you a little bit of an idea. Anyway, let's take a look at this. Point 2, 4.6 kilometers down, happened today at 21:26. Then we've got this one, 0.59, 5.8 kilometers down, 10:20 a.m. For that one. And if you are there, where the pig in heck am I? Piggy, I have no idea. If I'm there and you're there, I guess you're here or there. Thank you kindly for that wonderful super chat, Piggy. I do appreciate that. Thank you kindly. And anyway, let's keep going with the earthquakes. 0.72, 4.2 kilometers down, 1:50 a.m. on that one. And this was a little newer. 16:35 was the time. 0.6, 6.1 kilometers down. That is not anything surprising or major. But now we go over to our wonderful volcano that we love so much, and that is right in here. And that is Ragnar. And of course, these are the Siggy fissures. And yes, I know you're looking at this and going, hey, what is that? We'll get to it in a second. And I like what I'm seeing, though. Anyway, 6:27 a.m. we had a 0.32, 1.144 kilometers down. Very shallow, interesting stuff. But I don't think that's going to be an eruption. But hey, it'd be cool if it happened right there, because that's right beside Theater Hill. It would be in Geldingadalur, and that would be kind of neat. Anyway, 4:07 a.m. we had a 0.44, and it was 6.2 kilometers down. Now let's sneak up here a little bit further towards Kaleir, and of course this is all part of the Fagradalfjall system, and that is kind of in a, I guess, oblong shape, if you want to call it that, up towards Kaleir, but not including Kaleir. Anyway, let's look at this one, 0.72, 4.5 kilometers down, 5:52 a.m. For him. And here we've got a whole bunch of very small quakes, and they are all about the same depth, roughly, but really all small, and you know, being further down, it's really not going to make much of a difference. But stuff like this does give you something to wonder about. Anyway, 6:23 a.m. 0.54, 6.1 clicks down for him. 0.64, 6.7 clicks down for him. 6:32 a.m. 6:21 a.m. 0.58. 6.1, just about 6.2 kilometers down. Same with this depth, 0.99, 6:05 a.m. Next one, 6:02, 0.53, and again, same depth kind of thing, 0.53, 6.4 clicks down, 6:02 a.m. And the list goes on and on with that. The 1.02, 6:09 a.m. So they're all roughly in that same ballpark area as far as the time frame. It's almost like it rippled downward, but that's kind of what we're seeing there. Anyway, 0.95, 5.6 clicks down, 6 a.m. for that guy. And the top one here, 1.6, 6.8 kilometers down from 6:10 a.m. So that whole little swarm is interesting because it is still fairly deep. That could be down in a magma chamber, and if that is any indicators, that may be, and that is only a maybe, not indicating that there will be, but we could have magma intruding into a chamber down at that depth, and that is something to consider. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days, and if we continue to see more intrusions like that, these swarms, it'll be very, very cool. And I'd love to have a volcano for Christmas. Anyway, let's carry on. 1.25, 4.5 kilometers down, 10:16 a.m. Then a little closer to the capital, 0.3, 7.9 kilometers down from 1741. And sliding over a little bit, it missed the peninsula by a little bit there, 1.19, and that is 9.1 kilometers down, 3:18 a.m. And let's slide over a bit more. Some unusual activities in the middle of nowhere. And let's take a look at this one. 2.14, 5.1 clicks down, 15:35 for him. Then a 1.49, just about a 1.5. 3.2 clicks down, 15:37 for him. 1.25, 6.1 kilometers down, 15:36. And then we have this 1.21, 4.8 kilometers down, 15:24. And they got another 0.4 there, 4.5 clicks down from 23:11, a fairly fresh one there. And no real reason for that to be going on there, but hey, it did, and we'll continue on looking at these other ones. We've got a 1.2, 5.2 clicks down, 6:25 a.m. This 0.7 is 5.2 kilometers down, 7:13 a.m. And then we will get over and look at these three here real quick on the unpronounceable volcano name. 1.7, 5.2 clicks down, 1938 for him. This 1.9, 5.2 clicks down, 6:30 in the morning. And this 0.8, 5.2 clicks down, and that is at 20:08. Then we've got another 1.6 up here, 5.2 kilometers down, and that is 23:15, fairly fresh. Getting a little closer to Katla, and that is this 2.3, again 5.2 kilometers down, and 21:52. This one is earlier, 5:59 a.m., 0.22, 4.4 kilometers down for him. 0.63, 5 kilometers down, 6:14. And let's zoom in here and split those up there. 0.4, 1.1 kilometer down, and that was from 1727. Now, that one might be a little too deep for ice, I think, right there. I don't think there's a whole kilometer of it in that spot, but you never know. Something rumbling under there. And we have fresher 1.1, also 5.2 kilometers down from 2011 right there. And that kind of gives you Katla. Alba Girl, welcome, as well as Grandma B. Glad to have you in the house. And we are moving up a little bit and looking at some of these other ones. And of course, this is Grimsvatn, and Grimsvatn, 0.4, 3 kilometers down from 2319, very fresh. And then we also have, what is it, a 1.1 right beside him there, 3.3 kilometers down from 1702. And that is Grimsvatn, is that yellow one right there. And sliding up a little bit more, and we will take a look at Astja. There's actually Astja right there. Let's look at this 1.3 first. Wow, deep, 16.2 clicks down, and that is 3:34 a.m. for him. And let me check on my other stuff here. Have to get that back up on the screen. Need to be able to monitor things while I'm doing this. And let's see, 1.27, 5.9 kilometers down, 10:29 a.m. Then we have this one from 1455, 0.65, 4.1 kilometers down, and a little bit larger one, 2.48, 5.5 clicks down from 10:14 a.m. And that is interesting. Hopefully we'll not have to worry anything. That is the ASJA system right there. So we'll see what happens there. And this is our herder area, and I want to grab these ones on the bottom here, see where they're at. 1.03, 4.1 clicks down, 4:11 a.m. For him, and 0.6, 4.2 kilometers down from 2042, 0.3, 5.2 kilometers down from 1953, and sliding up a little bit more, looking at these 1.4, 4.2 clicks down, 1949 for him, 1.3, 4.5 kilometers down, 2145, and let's get that 0.9 underneath there, 5.2 clicks down, 2318, the time on that, 0.4 from 1952, and 5 kilometers down for him, and this 1.2, 4.3 clicks down from 2239, the 1.1 from 2200, and 4.9 kilometers down, the 0.4 in between them, 4.5 kilometers down from 2307. And let's go over here and take a look at this bigger 2.35, 5 kilometers down on 1309 for that time. And we're clicking on them without clicking on them. And really not very shallow as far as what we see there. Things are definitely not up near that 2 kilometer mark anymore. Everything seems to be subsiding a little bit further down. Anyway, this 1.53 from 6:21 a.m. 4.3 kilometers down. I'll get those words out correctly yet. Anyway, 0.95 kilometers down, 2109 for that guy, 2324 for this one, 1.44 kilometers down, and then we've got 4 kilometers down from 2103, and let's just grab a couple more here and see. New one, 5.2 clicks down, 2331, and the 1.2, 2.995, just about 3 kilometers down, 9:44 a.m. And kind of gives you a pretty good idea of what that is in that area. So things are not very shallow anymore. They have, it's almost like subsided or sealed themselves up. If there was any kind of magma under there, it has likely cemented the roof shut and not allowing things out. We'll need some really big shakers to open it up. So get over there and do your earthquake dance. And we'll get that thing to pop yet. Anyway, this 1.2 happened at 2005, and that is from 2.1 kilometers down. DJ Puff III, I don't know if he's the 8th Henry Abbott. Okay, and thank you, Piggy, got that 5-minute warning, and that's awesome. And 2.1, 8.5 clicks down, and 2326 for him. And out here by Grimsby, only one quake today, and that is a 1.6, 5.6 kilometers down, 1657. So the thing is, we seen the chart for Grimsby going up, and it really makes you wonder. And considering we only have one quake that's 5.6 kilometers down, that is not a good indicator of any type of eruption in that area. I would more likely, I think we'd have an eruption over here or maybe at Katla, but right now I don't think we're going to see anything at Hertebreed either. And I'm putting my money on, fingers crossed, trotters crossed, and hope we get some more quaking happening here. And as soon as we start seeing swarming in this area, it's always a good sign. So, oh my God, what? Oh my God, is a DJ here or something? I don't know. Are you here, DJ? I haven't seen you. Let me know when you get here, though. That would be cool. Anyway, looking at what we've got there, that's pretty cool and fairly quiet. 113 quakes for today. So, no, he's here. Ah, okay, Linda. Glad we got that straight. I know when he does come, though, it'll be all right. Oh, this is getting worse. It's gonna be one of those days. Are we here yet? No, just sit back and leave your seatbelt on and eat your ice cream. You'll be okay. We'll be there soon. Oh, isn't that how it goes? I'm sort of here. I could be sleeping right now, you know. Oh, anyway, lots of fun. Yep, eat your ice cream, DJ, and it'll be all right. Sakurajima ice cream, you bet. We love that stuff. It's all good. And leave the driving to us. Yeah, get a Tesla, and then you can eat your ice cream and drive on autopilot. And that way you're better off. See, the problem with Tesla autopilot up here is in the wintertime, there's so much snow on the road, there's no way you could use Tesla autopilot. And that is what happens when you have snow on the ground and ice. It just doesn't work. It is one of those things. And the sensors cannot differentiate between the snow on the ground and the snow and the curb lanes that has been plowed up. So, do you have a snow dock? Oh yeah, of course, Sophie. You haven't checked the other stream. You need to do that once in a while. You will see that we have, in addition to our very, very cold temperatures, and we can actually bring that up real quick. There, the very cold temperatures, and you'll see. But the snow hasn't been falling today yet. Yeah, Bunnyland is covered in snow, and I do want to report that the snowcano has exhibited some tremors. And hey, Derek Shave just got that. Oz gifted a membership. Oz gifted one membership, and Derek Shave got it right off the bat. That is awesome, Derek. Congratulations, and I hope you're here to enjoy it. So, pretty cool. And I don't know, sometimes you don't even have to be here to get it. And that is awesome. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the snowcano. Yeah, we've had some snowcano activity. And there has been a noticeable uplift. We are well over 1 meter of uplift at the snowcano, and that is something that we've got to take care of and see what happens in the future. So we'll be taking a look at charts in the future there once we hear some more stuff from the snowcano tremors. Nice bunny food Quonset hut you built. Thanks, Sharon Stewart. And yeah, I figured, kind of a dome shape for them to. It's a drive-through, actually, is what it is. Drive-through bunny feeder stations with 2 stations in it. And they've been using it, and I'm very happy. Anyway, it is break time for those good people here that are enjoying this silly show today. By all means, hit that like button, and if you are offended or anything, that's okay. Hit the like button anyway. And of course, if you have not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and that'll be awesome as well. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. I'm putting you back on some canned lava, and that is from Cumbre Vieja last December 3rd. And we'll go from there. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I'll be back. we go. The microphone is back on. And welcome, everyone. I'm glad to have you here, or welcome back. And thank you, Scott. And Piggy says welcome. Welcome back to the silly stream on Dr. Fox Funny Times. All right, let's carry on with that. And let's see. Thanks, Alba Girl, as well as Kevin Haynes and Sue and Colin and Hermione. Hermione, I forgot to say your name. Hermione and Fluffy are here. And let's see, when DJ gets here, we'll say hi to him as well. And hi, DJ. And Gren Zed, sorry to hear that you're still feeling yucky. And more what? Tabs help on my sort of nausea. Well, I hope you get better and things ease up there for you. Rest, friend, rest. That's what you need. I have arrived. Hey, DJ Puff the Third is here. Welcome, DJ. Sorry you missed us going through all the little tremors north of our wonderful Fragadal Fjall and Siggy. And Sharon Stewart says, I hear you, Dr. Fox. That is awesome. Anyway, I love the lava fountain from Cumbre Vieja in this scene, and I'm very, very happy I did record it back in the day when this was going on. And that is very, very nice. And I'm glad you guys enjoy it too. Yes, I did, didn't I? Yeah, excellent can vintage. You bet, Henry. It is. What? Hit sluggish tonight. Got migraine. Ugh. Oh, you don't want a migraine. And there we go. Yep, Grand Zed, you better grab that bucket. Oh no, King Colin. All right, we got two sick guys in here. All right, somebody, oh my God, Cookster Littlefield just popped in, slides in late like old lava and waves to all, and awesome. Anyway, careful, Cookster. Grenzed and Colin Deadman aren't feeling so good, so sit across on the other side. Leave the sick guys alone. I don't know if they're contagious or not, but I went to doctors this afternoon. Oh, okay, DJ is clean, I hope. Anyway, let's keep going with our stuff here today. Enough of the funny business. And we'll leave our canned lava alone, and we will want a more usual boring tests to do tomorrow. Oh boy. Well, I hope everybody is okay, and really, seriously, I hope you guys are all good, and that your illnesses fade quickly. Now, I don't like having anyone feeling under the weather or anything like that. Anyway, we popped over to Sicily, and there's Mount Etna. Well, you can't see Mount Etna. It's there, though, I promise. If we go back in time, using our time-traveling method, about 9.5 hours ago, that is what we've seen at Mount Etna. And that snow continues to melt. We haven't had any fresh stuff yet, but that is okay. I do have a quick thing from this morning, and here is the time lapse, and we'll get that rolling. There we go. And kind of through the early morning days, and there you see the moon setting in the background, and a very, very quiet Etna, off-gassing a little bit from the top center cone, and relatively peaceful when you look at it. And even as time progressed, the clouds hadn't built up that quickly. They enjoyed relatively clear skies. Always wondered who bought the Big Bang Theory name machine. We know what now know was was Dr. Fox. Yeah. Big Bang Theory time machine. And no, my time machine is still working, and well, I'm working on it. It is in the closet yet. It's doing its thing. Ooh, moon. Yeah, that spells moon. I'm surprised at that, Linda. Anyway, off-gassing from the bowels of the earth. Alba girl, that's what volcanoes do best. We get it from the back end, if you want to call it that. Anyway, it is doing its thing, and that is about 10 a.m. That what we have on the screen now. Of course, this is running at about 128 times regular speed. So, if you see it doing anything, put it in your mind that it's actually doing it a lot slower than what we're seeing, and it's not quite that fast. Anyway, backside jokes incoming. Uh-oh. I think this is, oh, never mind. I think we're going right down the toilet with it. This could be really bad. Anyway, that was the time lapse for today, you guys, and that wasn't too bad. Anyway, root beer float? No thanks. I'm all good there, Henry. You can enjoy that. Oh, yes, it is punny. All right. Anyway, that is what it looked like there today. A little bit more noticeable off-gassing as the sun went down. That is about 5:30 or 25 after, anyway. And that is what we were seeing. And it really isn't anything exciting. It's calmed down a whole bunch. This, of course, is present time, so that is what we're seeing there. And we'll carry on with our next one. Let's go back to the mid-Atlantic ridge. And, of course, this we are on the island of São Jorge. And this is the harbor here. It's all lit up. And, of course, right there is one of the little town sites. And the lights you see are across the strait, about 18 kilometers across here, and that is Pico Island. And of course, Pico Island looks like that during the daytime, just so you know. And we'll leave it there. And of course, that is Pico Volcano, or Mount Montana, is the big thing on Pico Island. I got to get myself on the right page here. Things are confusing when everything is always moved. Moving on to the next one, we see a lot of whitewater in the cove today, and splashing up on the dock over on the other side here. So pretty rough seas again, and even the rock area back here is getting a lot of whitewater around it. Normally that actually looks like this when it's calm. So when I'm saying the boat dock on the left-hand side or the rock on the right, you at least know what you're looking at. And that is what it is right now. We do have some moonlight peeking through, but not enough to light up the whole area. It is quite cloudy there. Anyway, let's have a look at the earthquakes for that particular area. We'll make that a little lighter. There we go. And all right, let's get at it. 1.8, and there we go. That was hard. Anyway, 1422 was the time on that. And that is the only one that we've seen there on the island of São Jorge. Of course, this particular map is only for São Jorge, or if you want to say it in Portuguese, São Jorge. And here's the other map. We're going to refresh this guy, and we'll see what all of Azores has. And we'll make that a little bit bigger so we can see. And it really doesn't reflect too much. Let's see, this one here, 20 hours ago, 3.1. And that is pretty close to this island down here. And that is right on the East Azores fault. And that is what we've got there. And they're actually showing two here, 10 hours ago, 1.8, and 14 hours ago, 1.2. I'm going to try doing this again here. I'm going to refresh that one more time. And yeah, still the same. So kind of makes me wonder if somebody missed an earthquake on the other chart. anyway, let's take a look at how deep those are. And yep, the one that is 1.8 was at the surface. The 7 kilometer down one is the 2.1, and of course that other one is a 3.16 kilometers down, and that is pretty awesome. Anyway, that's it for our wonderful area there in the Azores. And what I'm going to do is zoom that out a little bit and give you a better idea of exactly where you are there. So there's Portugal and Spain, Morocco being right there, and of course Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, Canada on this side. This is the North American plate, a Eurasian plate, and of course the African plate over here. And this is no man's land, the Azores, right in between all 3 plates, and it's being squished and pulled apart, and extra land being produced there, all kinds of weird things. So penguin pigs, what is it, a penguin piggy? Oh, somebody's getting a penguin. I want one. Okay, never mind. Let's carry on, take a look at other volcanoes. And that is a fuzzy looking Popocatépetl. And let's get on there and change the quality a little bit from poor to almost not poor. 1848 is the time. That's their local time right now. We're not seeing anything coming out of Popocatépetl. We do see some nice stars above it, which is really cool, but no exhaust. And if we go back a little bit, about, let's see, yeah, I guess roughly an hour and a half ago, we do see a little bit of a plume coming out of there. And when I checked a bunch of times here today, a lot of, it was all really the same kind of thing, very, very small plumage coming out of there. This is just about noon. And really nothing super active or special. No real major eruptions that I could see. So we did have the one little blast here in the morning, and that would have been right around here. Just I had 6:43 written down. Let's put that ahead a little bit. Oh, there it is. Okay, and I'm advancing it at 5 seconds at a time. And that, of course, the wind is blowing everything away, and we don't see a heck of a lot coming from this side. So if we take a look at the other angle on this, and we'll get over to 6:44 a.m. on that guy as well, and see if we can find that. It should be around here somewhere. And no, that's 9:30. That's a little bit coming out there as well. Let's go back a little more. 6:44 is somewhere around just about here. 48. Go back a little bit more. There it is. And from the other side, again, it's blowing that smoke and ash in the opposite direction. You can see a little bit more down here. I don't know if that's from a previous puffings, if you want to call them that, but it wasn't a very large amount of material coming out there, and that is what we've got. So yeah, and let's see if we get the early morning one here. There's this one, and you can see a little bit. It really shadows, and it looks like it's really dark material, but it isn't. Always love seeing that kind of a dome effect from the sun and the sunrise. Oh, it put it back a little bit more for us. Oh, that's nice. It gave us the full 14 or 15 hours back instead of just 12. And so that is about 12 and a half hours ago there. And it wasn't bad. And of course, about 13 and a half hours ago, it was completely in cloud. So really didn't help us much when we're looking at this. Anyway, putting it back on live, there we go, and that is what we've got right now. It dumped my quality down again. There we go. That's better. And stars in the background. That's all we get. Moving on, let's take a look at Fuego, or maybe not look at Fuego. Fuego did peek out a few times, a little bit, and it wasn't very good there. And here we had one about here, and very hazy, foggy, cloudy looking. And again, you got to realize this thing is, the top here is 12,360 feet. And of course, the camera that is viewing this beautiful eruption is on another mountain about 7 kilometers away, and it is about 10 kilometers up as well. So we'll see a shaking and movement and things we don't need. Eddie Oturo, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. And did I say hi to Pistol Pete? Pistol Pete, make sure you got your long johns on. It's cold out there. Anyway, going back a little bit more, there were a few other little plumes. It certainly wasn't as busy today as it had been in the last few days. And still some great ejecta shots, though, which are not bad. But again, we're not seeing that wonderful lava pluming out. And more stuff in the clouds here, but we don't want to entertain too much of that. It's just really not anything nice to look at. And this one wasn't too bad. This is really early in the morning. Well, not really early, 10:30 their time. And there we go. That is kind of out of the clouds a little bit. But again, slowed down. It's not quite as quick as what it was doing before on these other eruptions. And there again, it's pluming up. Still very, very dark material, though. And that is a good sign, I guess, for the most part. But it is ash-laden and has all kinds of other tephra material in it doing its thing. So that is always cool. And let's back up a little bit more. Oh yeah, this one is right about here. This one should be about 15 minutes or 13 after. Something like that. There we go. Let's leave it there and let it plume up. And that was pretty awesome. And again, very, very dark material. So I don't know what all is in there, but as that ash is going up, that is just loaded with stuff. Still has some good stuff to say, though. You bet. It definitely does. And a lot of that material going down the side of the hill as it is being ejected. Of course, when you're seeing it at nighttime conditions, you can see the sparks flying, and that is pretty awesome. All right, let's. Oh, there's a double whammy there. It popped again in the other cloud, so pretty cool to see. And yeah, let's back up though. See if we can find some really early morning stuff. Maybe we can't. I was hoping to catch the lava in the morning, but I don't think we did. And I was trying to see if we could see some, but I really didn't see a heck of a lot of that popping out. But again, this morning it was a lot more active. There you go, 7:20 a.m. and we see quite a bit of that material coming out. I was hoping to see more lava right at the top, but I think it blew most of that lava out. And some of these eruptions, of course, are very, very nasty. And Sasha, yes, microparticles, and thank you, Kevin, for the 3-minute warning. The microparticles in the tephra, the material coming out of here, you certainly, if you're anywhere downwind of this, you want to make sure that you're wearing some kind of a mask to protect yourself, preferably something sealed, because all those little particles, as that tephra cools, if it was hot magma and it gets blown out like that, it can be tiny, tiny little shards, and it's glass-like. And if it gets into your lungs, there's no way to get it out. So always wear a mask if you're downwind of a volcano. Anyway, 3-minute warning, so need to heed that advice. We will pop over to other places here shortly, putting that back. This is what Fuego's view is at present, and that, of course, is not Popocatépetl at present. That was earlier. There we go. It is dark there at Popocatépetl, and that is 70 kilometers south of Mexico City. And actually, it's got a little burst there, very, very small, but you could see some light. That is indicating that we do have some lava sitting down in that caldera, and that is pretty awesome to see. And let's see, yeah, I think it is just about time to go take that break, you guys. So what I am going to do is put you back on our wonderful can lava, though, and let you enjoy watching that, since that can is relatively large, and that'll be cool. Anyway, present is Popocatépetl, and that's 1858 at their time. So within a minute or so from what we're seeing now. And that is pretty awesome to be able to bring it pretty much live. So cool stuff. All right, let's get it over on that can lava, and we'll let that can spill out some more wonderful fire fountains and stuff like that. I love it, you guys. And please enjoy it. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. If you have not yet hit that like button, please give it a shot. We're trying to get over that 100 mark, of course. That is when the YouTube analytics really do kick in. Also, if you can, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing. And hit that bell notification, and that way you'll always know when we're on. And on that friendly note, I am going to pop out of here, and I will be back in about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, 6 minutes, something like that, with some bacon seeds, and that'll be cool. All right, don't go away, you guys. Keep smiling and behave, play nice in the lava. I'll be back. microphone is back on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board. And darn electric, what happened, Piggy? Did your power go off? Darn it. And thank you for the welcome backs from Kevin Williams, Sue Hayes, Kevin Haynes. And why does your electric keep going off? And it's bad electricity. The electrons don't like Piggy. Oh, thank you, Grandma B, for the welcome back, and Albagirl, and yep, the power outage again. Darn it, Piggy. Hopefully they'll get that rectified soon, and you won't have any more of those. And that would be good. Quit licking the outlet, Piggy. They aren't crayons. Yeah, we gotta get her to stop doing that. And don't put your trotters in there, Piggy, and that could hurt you. Anyway, attach to the big boy supply. Yeah. Okay, and anyway. Okay, glad that you made it back though, Piggy. And it is bacon seed time. Let's get over there and have a look at the bacon seeds. And of course, that is the last one from yesterday. And there is the next one. Very punny, rectified. Yeah, sure. That sounds like complete DC to me, DJ. Once it's rectified. Anyway, there's our first two cuties. And they are kind of looking, going, pictures again? All right. I'll just sit here and look at the camera. We love it. Hey, C&D boys here. Good to see you. Just in time for bacon seeds. And there is our next group of bacon seeds. Now, these are very, very young little guys. And, wow, they don't even look like pigs. Why don't they look like pigs? These aren't pigs. Those tails are too big. What are those? I don't know if those are really fresh seeds. They are an hour old. Wow, and they sure got big tails for an hour old. And very, very small little bacons. And what getting a zap will really curl your tail. Oh, yeah. So tiny, and that is a very, very small little bacon seeds. Definitely super, super small. Next ones, and these guys have grown a little bit. They are definitely nursing at Mummy, and they are all lined up doing their thing. The wrong trotters are looking at them now. What? And wrong trotters? Never mind. Cheese seeds, possible. Premium seeds, maybe squirrels. I don't know. Anyway, that is all cute and fuzzy and all that stuff. Okay, we'll carry on. We'll get to our next bacon seeds. And then, shh, quiet, this one's sleeping, and he looks comfy. He's got his snout, and he's a young guy too, and they were cheese seeds. You think they were cheese? No, I don't think so. Let's take a look here. Do you get a fuzzy tongue? Yeah. Oh boy, and this has gone downhill. Hey, wait. And say ah. Everybody say ah. Helen Cartier, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. I want to see a volcano, but I see pigs. See a pig? No, that's a figment of your imagination. That is not that's a volcano waiting to erupt. Oh, gotta love it. Okay, one more wonderful little what is he called? Mater? Mater. I don't know what they want to call him. Last bacon seed for today. is this guy, and he's writing in his formal complaint, and that is what he's doing. Opera singing pig, perhaps. Yeah, me yawning. Oh, piggy in the morning. I see. There you go. And that's Piggy, of course, at her computer doing her thing. And Poppet isn't there, so we're all in good hands. And that's all good for now. Anyway, that's the last of our bacon seeds. And we are wonderful doing our thing today. So let's carry on and see what else we got. A sale on troughs. Ah, excellent, Cookster. How much and where? And we can all chip in and send Piggy a new trough if she needs one. And let's see what we've got here at Merapi. And Merapi is in clouds, and I think Merapi is been cloudy all day. And yep, going back, the only place where I really see Merapi at all, and that is only partially, is way back when at 22:39 their time, and it wasn't very visible then either. They have all kinds of clouds around there at 22:06, and prior to that it was not visible, and all the way in between it wasn't. So not a good day for looking at Merapi. As you can see, they have bad weather. Let's go over to Ruapehu in New Zealand and see how bad their weather is. And I knew, I looked at it earlier and I thought to myself, well, that looks just like Merapi. And yep, there it is. That is Ruapehu, and isn't that nice? Of course, that is our favorite color, volcano gray, and we see that all the time. Anyway, they had some pretty nasty rain clouds happening. You can almost see the volcano in that shot, at least the base of it right there. And if we go back just a little bit, I don't know if it cleared enough, but it almost looked like there was a twister trying to develop there. And I'm not sure if that's what was happening with that cloud. You can see a little bit more of that base, but really it was hiding in the clouds all day, and not very visible. Oh, a little bit of that snow line as well. Very dark clouds, though, so stuff going on. And there we go. Knows I can drift off. What? All right. Are you going to go to sleep, Piggy? Listen. Oh, look. We can actually see it. And that was earlier. And that was 6:48 a.m. That is actually pretty awesome. And 6:43. Kind of neat to see the clouds before they've descended upon the volcano, and that is awesome. So earlier morning shots actually are worthy, even though they are a little bit out of focus, and that is what we see there. I always get a kick out of that very pinkish looking sky that they get there in the mornings, and that seems to be something. Hang on, why are we buffering? You should be going to the pink sky. Don't buffer. Okay. Well, it's not going to show me the pink sky. It's just going to sit there and buffer. Back to its real time. And, of course, 14:16 is the time there. And it continues to rain. And maybe even snow. Much heavy rain in New Zealand. Okay, Gren Zed, I hope that is all okay, and you guys aren't getting too waterlogged. And next, the volcano, unfortunately, is not online, and that is Semeru. It seems to have dropped off, and likely the same story with too much of the clouds in that area. Yesterday, we did see a lot of stuff going on there. Of course, this is Sakurajima on the screen now, and that is live. That is 10:17 Japan time in the morning, We do see it pluming a little bit over there, some darker ashy like clouds coming out, some tephra in there, if you will, and that is pretty awesome. Before Piggy drifts off, she's got to go down and get an ice cream, though. The ice cream boat is there, and we'll make sure that is high quality. It is. Apparently it's a little dirty or something, or out of focus, but the ice cream boat is docked. You guys can go down and get some. That'll be awesome. And of course, from this longer distance, you can kind of get a better overview of how large that volcano is. And it is indeed throwing out some bad gas. Let's take a look at the close-up. There it is, and that is the crater Sakurajima in Japan, and that is live. And of course, you can see the darker material on this side. This side seems to be producing some cleaner steam slash gases, whereas here we've got some ash and tephra mixed in with the gas as well. So interesting, cool, and all kind of neat. Let's move on to our next volcano, and that is Aso. And Aso, of course, is in Japan as well. Aso is rated as a green level, so it's not erupting right now, although you can see the caldera. I did not have time to look and see when the other wall of the caldera here got blown out. I wanted to try to get at that today, but I got sidetracked. Squirrel moments. You do see some steaming here. Of course, there's a lake inside the caldera, and that floor of the caldera is quite warm or hot, and that heats up all that water that is captured in that caldera, and it steams it off, and it has a fairly good sized supply, though. So yep, happens, hobby bugs, squirrel moments, lots of them, and it seems to be more and more lately without the squirrel, and that is kind of neat, I guess. Well, sort of. Yeah. Anyway, let's take a look and see if Taal is online. I know that was one that wasn't working either earlier, and it may not be. They did have all kinds of other storms in the area, but well, hang on, Taal might be on right now. We'll see. We've got commercials on there. We'll take a look in a second. They got a yummy dippable commercials here, pretzel crisps. Maybe I should have just let that play. Everybody get hungry then, and then we won't have anyone in the stream. Anyway, yep, we do have it up and working now. There it is. There is Taal volcano, and it looks short, but it is a Taal, and we're not seeing anything coming out of it. It's quiet today. It too has a lake in its caldera, and that lake is actually pretty large for what we see. Well, we don't see it from this point. I got to get some pictures of that caldera so we have a little better idea. We can bring it up on certain maps, and let me take a look and see if we can actually bring it up on the volcano map, or even the USGS map. That might work as well. And let's see, we need the Philippines though for that. Let me zoom in there. What's wrong with that picture? Okay, that's not quite right. And there we go. All right, I can do that. I'll show that real quick so you get the idea of what it looks like. There it is from the top, and this is compliments of USGS. And there's the lake inside the Taal volcano, and that is pretty cool. That rock is still there too, so that is pretty interesting and neat to see. But there it is, and that is the lake inside Taal volcano. And there's the Taal lake. And we'll get back to where we were, and there we go. And next one on our list, of course, is our wonderful Yellowstone National Park. And I know I watched a few geyser eruptions earlier today, but right now the park is not doing a heck of a lot, so that is what we're seeing right there. They've kind of pointed at the parking lot, an empty parking lot that has got snow cover on it, and that is what we see. Hey, Hobby Bugs, thanks to a Nightbot, I'm having sweet iced tea tonight. There you go. And awesome, Hobby Bugs. Thanks for renewing your membership there, and really cool. And let's continue on, and we'll move over to Hawaii next. And there is Hawaii from 4:11 a.m. Hawaii time. That is what the lava pond inside our Kilauea crater looked like. So that is pretty cool. Of course, there's a lava tube down on this end feeding it, and that is pouring in the lava. And I'm a little suspicious of what's going on here now. This looks like it's new and breaking out a little bit. Kind of odd. Anyway, you see the brighter spots around the edges here. That is where you have gas bubbles coming up, breaking that thin crusted layer there as the lava is draining away down into the abyss. Of course, the gas bubbles don't want to go down into the dungeons, and they pop back up to the surface and pop because they're in a liquid, of course, and they don't like being down there. Anyway, let's refresh that, but this end looks really cool, and we'll see what we've got going on there. Only downside, yep, and it is squaring itself out a little bit more, I see, and that is pretty awesome. And we are seeing over here that a lot of this extra debris that was here from about there onward from yesterday, a lot of it is gone now, so that is pretty neat. And looks like we've got more new trash here, or breaking, and we'll see what happens in this caldera area in the future. Again, you do see the lighter spot right there. That's one of the drain points, and that one has been there pretty steadily. Same with these here. So there have to be some kind of tubes going down there. Yes, that texture is amazing, Cookster. It really is. And you know, the way it the crust will jam up and break, and then create a new flow and make those weird patterns in here. Like this right here used to be over here, but it got broken off and pushed. So really cool, and I kind of like that. Anyway, let's look at the other pictures. This one, of course, 4:12 a.m. Primary vent is right there. You can see the top of that little hornito right there, and that is where that lava tube is pouring into this. And I'm not sure why we're seeing these very light lines up here. Maybe there's more breakage happening that we don't know about. Let's take a look on this picture. This is present from 1519 or 1520 almost. Primary event there again. You can't see, well, you can see the hornito, but barely. It's there, and I can't see any of the other stuff that's going on. It might be some cracking going on here as well. Anyway, lava pond. We do still see some smoke up on the side of the caldera here. Still I'm waiting for that to drop in, and some smoke coming off on the back as well. Not all that much new happening there. So, and of course that lava level still has not come up. This is again from 4:01 a.m. This is from the other side of the caldera, primary vent. There's your hornito, and then of course the lava pond right there. Pig Island is in between here, and then we see a new hotspot that developed over here, and it seems to be getting larger. We'll see what happens in the future. Let's refresh that to current time, and you can see that hotspot over here, and yeah, it's kind of in here somewhere. Anyway, a lava pond, or sorry, a tow area lava pond, and of course a primary vent, and you can't see the Hornito from this angle, but it is there. Let's take a look at the thermal image, and that again that's actually from last night. No, hang on. Yeah, from 22. That never got refreshed. Let's see if we got a new one. And now we do too. And that is 1512. The time on it. Primary vent. Little Hornito right there. And of course the lava pond. The tow area and that new spot. And we'll continue watching this guy with amazement. And one of the things that I did notice there, this thing is really starting to break out a little bit more and more. And pretty soon we're going to have a larger round hole here. It will try to make itself round, I think. That's a pretty straight edge, though, for nature. And we'll see what happens. Even though it's jiggling, it's still fairly straight. But anyway, that's it for there. Quick pop over to 4:01 a.m. This is what the top of Mauna Loa is like. And Mauna Loa in the dark. A little bit of moonlight there. Let's bring up the current picture. And then it's 15:16 is the time on that. And there you go. There is your caldera for our wonderful Mauna Loa, and that is one big mountain, one big caldera, and I really hate to see that thing go off all at once. I'm sure it would like to, but that would make a very, very big catastrophe. Anyway, let's take a look at the earthquakes there real quick. Actually, I'm looking at the time, and I think we'll possibly go for a break before I go do this. Real quick look, there's your Hawaiian Islands, Oahu here, Maui there, and of course there's the big island of Hawaii. We don't see any quakes over on Mauna Kea, and we do see some quakes up on top of Mauna Loa, and then of course here in the Pahala area, and some new quakes at Kilauea. So that is pretty awesome, pretty cool. Let's just dig into these. Anyway, these ones here, all between 26 and 37 kilometers down. We'll go with this one, 2.0, 38 minutes after midnight. This newest one, 2.2, 1802 was the time on it. 1.9 from yesterday at 1935. Then this guy, 1.5 from today at 7:42. Moving on, seeing 2.0, and that is 1414 as the time goes. And this 2.0 from 10:02. This guy is a 1.8 from 10:57. This one now 2.3 from 12:24, and a 2.0 from 4:42, and then going up a little bit, and 2.2, 9:57 for that guy. Quick peek, and we do see the one that's right in the caldera for Mauna Loa, and that is a 1.8, and that is 600 meters above sea level. And that is from 1755. We do see this guy on the side of the hill, a 0.6, very small. 1525 was the time on it, at 2.4 kilometers below sea level. And then we've got a whole little swarm here. I'm not going to hit all of them, but we'll grab a couple. 3.6, that is the bigger one from yesterday, 2121, at 2 kilometers below sea level. 2.1 at 2043 yesterday at 2.1 kilometers down. This one 2.2, 2045, 2.7 kilometers down, also yesterday's. And then a 2.1, 2224 yesterday. Did we miss something yesterday? Somebody dropped something there. Seemed to all be from yesterday. 2.0, 1917. What about this guy? No, that's from today, 6:11 a.m., 400 meters below sea level. And 1.9 there at 1306, 1.5 kilometers below sea level. These guys on the outside, some of them are old, well, a little bit. And 0.6, 2157 yesterday. 0.8 from yesterday, 2154. 2.1 clicks below sea level. 1.1 at 2047. And that's kind of it. I'm not going to worry about the other ones. I'm more interested in what's happening at Kilauea. And then I will go take a break after that. Quick peek here from today. From today at 8:47, 6.3 kilometers below sea level, 1.9. And then we've got a 2.0 and 23 minutes after midnight, 1.8 kilometers below sea level. 2.0 from 1719, and that is 1.1 kilometers below sea level. And of course this one 2.2 from yesterday, 2140, 1.5 kilometers below sea level, and 1.4 kilometers below sea level for this 1.9 from 1702. And there was one more quake over here that we want to grab, and then we'll go on that break. That's actually one from yesterday at 2338. 3.6 clicks down, and that is a 1.7 in magnitude. So that's it for Hawaii as far as the earthquakes go, and really nothing real major going on there. So we'll leave that be, and we'll put you back on that wonderful canned lava. I know it cycles through its thing there, but down there it's spewing again. We like it. Anyway, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. If you have not yet hit that like button, help us out. We are trying to achieve at least 100 likes so the YouTube analytics can take over, and that would be really awesome. Also, if you are new and you have not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing if you feel we've earned it. On that friendly note, I'm your host, Dr. Fox. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and I will be back. Don't go away. Thanks. And welcome back, or welcome everyone. I'm glad to have you all here. And of course, I'm your host, DrFox2000. You're watching a VolcanoX live stream. And there we go. A pizza time here. Oh, excellent. And that is awesome. Thank you for the welcome. I'm back from Sue Hayes and Kevin Haynes saying good night to all of good night to all, and thanks, Doc and mods. Okay, Kevin Haynes, get some sleep. Rest well, my friend. Sharon Stewart saying, I hear you, Dr. Fox. Judy McClelland also joined us. Welcome, Judy, and glad to have you on board, and thank you. All right, we are working on earthquakes, and let's go back there. We'll leave that canned lava be. The big fountain stopped for a while. I'm sure it'll pick up again. And one bunny just hopped into the dome and is eating. And I just thought I'd throw that in there, silly me. Anyway, I'm looking at North America, and not bad here. The only big thing that we really see is that older one here from Mexico, and that is it for that area. Sliding down, even the area down here in Chile and Peru and those places, calm today. So that is nice. Let's zoom in here a little bit into New Zealand's area, and of course that is already an older one from a couple of days ago, that 4.0. But we do have a couple, one here on the Kermadec Ridge, and that is considered Fiji, 4.4 from 2:28 a.m. and 135 kilometers down for that guy. And there's another 4.4, and that was from 1450, and that is 454 kilometers down, and also considered a part of Fiji, even though Fiji is way over here, and that's the Kermadec Ridge right along here. So, and that is Tonga in that area. Anyway, Vanuatu also had one, 4.6 here. Actually, they had two. Sorry, 632 this morning, 94.4 kilometers down for that 4.6. And then a 5.2 from 3:25 a.m., 10 kilometers down there. Sliding over a bit more, we see this 4.5 in Papua New Guinea, 11:58 was the time on it. And we've got a little guy here, 4.3 in the Banda Sea from 10:58, 276.5 kilometers down. And way over here in Indonesia, also 4.5 and 22:56 yesterday, 11.2 kilometers down for that one. And while we're here, let's take a look. This is, where is it? It's still part of India right there. 5.4 from yesterday, 22:01, 20.7 kilometers down for it. And sliding up northern end of Japan, and that is, they're calling it Russia there, but it's still part of Japanese waters. Anyway, 4.5, 18:04, and 50.8 kilometers down for it. And let's go over here, and this is on the Kamchatka Peninsula, 4.4. And that is from 8:05 a.m. Hey, while we're here, let's take a look at a picture I loaded up of what the heck is it? Shivalish. There, Shivalish, and that is up in the northern portions here, and that is what we were seeing there. That's actually, I do believe, yesterday's picture. Alex France, I have missed everything, anything exciting? No, Alex, you didn't miss a darn thing, except for the pink elephants and all that stuff. But that's okay, you can catch up later. Sorry, I've been a while working too much, and these shows are too late in the night for me while working. No worries, Alex, and hope you're doing okay. Anyway, Chevrolet on the screen there, and that is mighty fine looking, and it looks cold there, even though it is in the a volcano in the Arctic. It's still looking pretty darn cold there. You almost want to climb right onto all that lava. Anyway, that is what we have there. Let's get back to earthquakes, and we'll take a look at what else we had around the world. And we got this one already, so let's carry on. And actually, I wanted to check down on the bottom. Nothing new on the bottom. We do see this one here. Too bad Piggy already went to bed. But this is a portion of the what we've got here is the Arabian plate, and of course it is putting pressure on the Anatolian plate right here, the microplate, and having that quake right there is probably going to end up resulting in Piggy getting a few more quakes around her area. Anyway, 4.2 from 2157, 10 kilometers down for that guy. And of course, the latest one there that was close to Piggy, there's Piggy's Island of Kos, was this guy here, a 4.0. She definitely did feel that one. That was on the 5th, so a little ways back. But we do see another one here in that same spot beside where that big, it was a 6, downgraded to 5.6, but it had another aftershock there, 4.4. And that was from today at 10:54, 6.5 kilometers down for that quake. And that basically wraps up our quakes for this area. We didn't look at our stuff yet in the Canary Islands. We're going to do that right now, and we'll get that out of the way. And before we do anything else, I want to zoom out and take a look up top here. We do see one quake up here, and this guy is kind of sneaking off the screen. That was from today at 2:40 a.m. UTC, 3.6. And how deep was that? It doesn't tell us. Oh, hang on, maybe we'll look at the side. 20 kilometers down. And of course, that is on the East Azores fault, and that's what we've got there. Let's zoom in a little bit into our Canary Islands. Of course, we're interested in La Palma, and we'll get a little closer to it. We do see a star just about right where Cumbre Vieja was, and that one is a 1.6 from 1237 today, 9 kilometers down. So it's kind of in an odd spot. Anyway, that is the only quake today that they've got there on La Palma. So that takes care of that business really quick, doesn't it? And that is all cool. Let's move on, and we'll go over to our volcano map and have a quick peek at a refreshed volcano map. And that way we can see what's going on. Ooh, it changed it. How come? There, that's still not right. How about there we go, satellite image. All right, that looks better. Anyway, we have our 2 in Iceland, the 2 of course in the Azores, and then everybody else looks pretty much the same. I haven't seen anything different or new, and still seeing our guys down here in Chile. Sabancaya still doing its thing, and Nevado del Ruz, as well as Persei, still there, very active. Reventador and Cotopaxi, if I said it right. And what's the other one? Cerro Negro and never mind. Cerro Negro. That'll work out for me. And Sangay there, and of course Fernandina out here on the Galapagos. I'm not doing anything new. I haven't seen anything up on it lately either, so very quiet. And of course our stuff in Central America, Fuego being the active one there right now, and we're not seeing anything else coming out of it. Fairly quiet from our Alaskan guys, and again, we did have a couple of pictures. Let's get that one off of there. Yeah, this was supposed to be Pavlov, and you see what it is. Not a very good picture. Let me see if I can find that. There we go. And of course, that was the only image of semi that we've got, and it is covered in clouds. And oh yeah, that's Pavlov. This is the other one. This is the Great Sitkins, and it too is covered by clouds. So unfortunately, we're not seeing very much there. And we'll go back to our map, and we'll carry on with that real quick. Where's my map? There it is. I found it. Anyway, we already took a look at Shivalish, and that was a nice shot. And then Bezimiani and Karimsky are still doing their thing. Our trio still intact down here. Chikarachki, Ibiko, and of course Alade. And sliding down, Shima is still an orange, and of course Suganoshi-jima and Sakura-jima still doing their thing, very much in the red lines. And nothing new here. Oh, a White Isle volcano. Well, it's an orange. It's not a yellow, and we'll see what happens. Maybe it will pop. Tofua and the home reef are still the same, so interesting to see White Isle volcano, and hopefully it will behave. Quick peek down here. Urta Ale still a red, or sorry, not Urta Ale, Erebus, that's the one I wanted. And we'll zoom out a little bit and slide up. Heard Island volcano still there. And Piton de la Formes and Reunion Island, of course, still going strong. Urtael is here. That was my bad slip of the tongue. And of course, Etna and Volcano, Stromboli, and Campi are still in the Sicilian and Italian theater, if you want to call it that. And that is pretty much good for those areas. Let's pop over to our weather maps. We'll get that started. We'll go through the SO2, and we'll refresh that guy again. That is about an hour old already, so there it is. And yep, looks like Saturday we get more flaking, and not looking forward to it, and neither are the bunnies. But they're okay with the food supply, so that's all good. Anyway, looking at what we have in Canada and the US and stuff, not bad. A little bit heavy here in Alaska. We do see, and then we have a storm here in the Aleutian Islands, and that is taking some of that SO2 right out of the air, dumping it into the ocean. Of course, this whole stuff going up in the north here, it is really messing up the Arctic Ocean and that area with all that SO2 ending up floating over top of it, and makes it hazy and stuff. Looking at North America, though, doing its thing. Couple weather systems to talk about there. Of course, you've got this big guy sitting here. That's a low, and that is stormy, bringing all kinds of inclement weather for those guys. And of course, remember that hurricane that was coming through, and I can't even remember its name. Oh my God. Anyway, it came through, made landfall, and it is now sitting over at the panhandle here, and nailing all of Georgia, and also most of Florida, still Alabama getting hit now. And we see the change in the way the pluming is here, definitely blowing it out into the Pacific from Mexico. And of course, that is Mexico City and Popocatépetl helping that out. The Central American stuff, some of it coming this way, the other stuff going being drawn in by that big storm. And we slide down a little bit. We see our stuff from Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru out into the Pacific, and then as soon as we get down to Bolivia area and that bottom end of Peru, we see Sabancaya and its off-gassing going all the way out into the Atlantic, and same thing for these guys down here in the bottom of Chile. So that's what we've got there. Zooming out a little bit, looking for funky designs. We don't see too much. We do see some little plume here from a micro volcano in the South Sandwich Islands. Very little, even though it is orange, very little coming from our friend White Isle Volcano there. And Leo doesn't have his barbecue on today. Darn it, he must be busy. Anyway, there's Tasmania looking pretty clean. North of Sydney here in Australia, there's some coking plants creating that. And it looks like Yasur is working hard to keep up to his two buddies up here. Tofua nowhere near the normal output, so it seems to be slowing down a bit. Our guys here in Papua New Guinea are still working away. Same thing with Luolatok and Ibu and Dakono. Luolatok is down here, going too far, too fast here for me. Anyway, Semeru, Merapi. Merapi is not even showing up here, and of course our Krakatau being out here, but most of that is from Jakarta, sliding up a little bit more, and Budusan and Mayon still working on some of that, and I don't know how much is actually coming from Taal volcano, if anything. A lot of that again is people pollution for the most part there. Same thing goes with Taiwan and China, of course. Down on the bottom here, Suwanoshi-jima doing its thing, and then Sakurajima creating this cloud, and it certainly is getting some help from across the East China Sea there. Japan, a lot of it fairly heavy with SO2. Getting up to the Kamchatka Peninsula, we do see that Karinsky and the others, Bezimiani and Shivalesh, are definitely throwing out a lot of SO2. Moving on, India, normal SO2 levels for them, and South Africa. I'm still wondering if they shut down a part of the smelting operation or not doing as much, but that is a little less than we normally see. DR Congo still doing its thing, a couple of volcanoes and some coking plants. Urta Ale not even noticeable, and I think the wind is blowing everything in that direction into Saudi Arabia, and we do see here the oil refineries do show up very well in, of course, Kuwait and Jeddah and Jeddah. It's the Jedi. Obi-Wan lives there. Okay, and Baghdad, of course. And the one that is all quiet is still producing a lot of SO2, and that is Mount Etna. And I'm surprised that we're seeing that much SO2 coming from it, but hey, it's done that before. And of course, it's got some help from Stromboli. And these are the latest Strombolian pictures, and how come I didn't see those? Darn it, I wish I would have had some insight to that. There were actually a couple of good ones in there. Let's see if we can pull that back. That's actually not a bad shot, and some real Strombolian activity there if you look at it. That is pretty neat. Anyway, let's leave that alone before I get nailed from them for a copyright. And looking at Europe, not bad as far as SO2 levels, and a little bit coming from Iceland, not much. So that is kind of it for SO2. And what we will do is we will go have a look at our weather when we get back from the break, And here's that storm while we still have a minute or two. And that came across and made landfall somewhere in this area here and worked its way up and is now up just about into Georgia, coming out of Florida. And it doesn't look like it's too mean and nasty. David Brewer mentioned that when it came through, it really wasn't as strong as they predicted. But here's what the rain areas look like. And now, of course, it'll be raining for Grandma B up here. And of course, there's going to be some rain falling in all of Georgia and a lot of Alabama, as well as most of Florida is still getting rain. And we still see some trace storm development down here as well. So that'll all have to move up slowly and do its thing. So there's more water to come for those good people. And just figured I'd throw that in before we go on the break. And on that friendly note, it is a time for me to go on a break, you guys. For those good people who are here, if you have not yet hit that like button, help us out. And of course, we would love to see that go up to 100 or more. And we need 20 more according to my page, and we'll hopefully get there shortly. And we'll leave the canned lava on for you guys, and we'll throw some music on as well. And I'll be back. Hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed yet. I can't talk today. Got trough mumbles on barking tagrets. Oh, my merds are wicks. And it's not dyslexia. All right, I'll be back. Keep smiling. And there we go. I got my, what? Do you know I can't gift a sub for love nor money? Don't you? Done you? All right. Well, Oz, you've done well so far, so I'm not sure why it's doing that. Let's see. What's a giant tiger got for $1 or $2.97? Okay, I missed that. But thank you for the welcome backs from Sue. And just 18 to go. Show Dr. Fox the love. Thank you, Grandma B. And thanks, Sue Hayes. And I hear you from Sharon Stewart. Thanks, that is awesome. Anyway, let's get back to our weather that we were looking at. Tim Tams. Actually, I was going to make a comment, and being honest here and straightforward, I like the regular Tim Tams more than I did the caramel ones. I really did. I think the caramel ones are good flavor, but I think I like the other ones better. Thank you, Philomena. I appreciate that. And I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but I think the regular ones are better than the caramel ones. And cool. So anyway, weather map. Here we go. And I get to it. And it's cold. And there we go. Looking real quick, northern portions of our continent, of course, getting down to the minus 40 degrees Celsius over there in Greenland, and that is not too bad. G.O. Tim Tams. O.G. Tim Tams. Okay. G.O. O.G. Dyslexia takes over once in a while, and I have to deal with that. Anyway, we are seeing that cold dipping down here. That's over here, none of it. Well, I want none of it. Anyway, we do see that up there. It is very cold in that area, and a high sitting there, keeping that cold up there and colder. Okay. And looking at Alaska, they're a little bit warmer today and not quite as bad. Same thing with the Yukon. And even, I hate to say it, but the northern portions of British Columbia actually warmed up. We are still very, very cold here in Edmonton. It says minus 15 on my screen. It says minus 19 or 18 according to this map right now. And I think it is probably very close to in between there, probably about minus 16, minus 17 for us right now. Calgary already warming up. By tomorrow we should see a minus 1 Celsius here. So that we've got what's called a Chinook blowing in, and I think that is this warm air that's coming up here, and that's going to help out. And we'll see what happens. Anyway, going over northern portions of Manitoba, really horrible. We have this sitting here in, what state is that? That would be, oh boy, Minnesota, I think, and something like that. But there's a low sitting there, pulling that cold air down. Not good. Anyway, looks like the southern end of Ontario, though, having some relatively nice fall weather, with all the way up to 14 degrees down on the bottom of Ontario. Even up in the northern parts, some places fairly warm. Toronto coming in at 12. Montreal today at 11. A little cooler in Quebec at only 6. And looking at New Brunswick, ranging between 6 and about 9 degrees, maybe 10, 11 down on the bottom end. And of course, a Cole Harbor coming in at 12 degrees, very, very balmy there. And there we go, out here in Nova Scotia. A little bit on the colder side out here in Newfoundland, though, 2, 3, and then you get down here on the warmer portions up to about 6 or 7. About the top end here at -2, and our Labrador Newfoundland, Labrador area up in the top end, cold like the dickens. Let's leave that alone. And we see this high, and that high is a bad high. And of course, it is holding that cold temperature in there. That's what's happening. Quick peek out here in the western portions, just above freezing for most of those places. And that is from Vancouver on down even into northern California. And once we do get into California, we're looking at LA 12 degrees, and what we got 10 degrees there in San Jose. Sacramento only 8, and Death Valley would be probably something that you need a sweater in again. 15 degrees Celsius in Death Valley, and yeah, make sure you dress warm, otherwise you're going to be dead. Anyway, 15 C here in Mexicali as well. 14 in Phoenix, not very warm. Tucson, even colder at about 13. Not so good for them. And of course, a northern portion of the, I guess we call it the northern half of Arizona, quite cold in some places. And I'm not sure what Flagstaff would be, but yeah, there's Flagstaff, -1 Celsius. So about 29, 30 degrees. Albuquerque, New Mexico, 4 degrees. Not so warm there either. Bottom end of Texas, not that bad. Looks like a nice fall day for them. 22 in Houston, San Antonio about the same. And Austin, same thing, a little cooler maybe. Dallas, about 20 degrees. So they're still sitting in some warmer temperatures. Looks like the trough is here in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City being there on the cold side. Tulsa also being cold, too cold, 9 degrees, 10 degrees, and not good. But you can see that where the divider is, and as you go up north here, at least Milwaukee is a little warmer at 17. Chicago at about 16 right now. That's not bad. Same thing with Detroit here, about 14. But looking down here where the storm is, where Nicole is located, we do have some cooler areas, and that is likely caused by a lot of wind blowing through. Anyway, 20 degrees Celsius right where the storm center is right now, and not getting much higher, above 25 down on the bottom end of Florida. So not so warm there, but hey, it is what it is. Grandma B's house about 67, 66 degrees there, so that's still fairly warm, and a bit cooler over here in Charlotte, North Carolina. As we move up, Baltimore down to 15, Philadelphia 14, New York at 13, Boston 14, and we do see some of that warm air trying to push back up, and that's actually what is keeping places like Cole Harbor and Halifax a little bit warmer right now. And sliding down a little bit more, we do see Mexico, again, not the greatest temperatures, and I think we've got a lot of different kinds of systems trying to develop here. We've got lows in here, we got a low there, and this thing is spinning the opposite way like a high would, and kind of weird. And then you see a high there, low here. This will turn into another storm of some sort, and then we end up going into South America. We see a high sitting on the eastern tip of our Brazilian area, and that's kind of what we see there. A low over here. I'm not sure where it's drawing its stuff from, but that is in Argentina. Sliding down a little bit more, we do see another low down on the bottom. Anyway, 27, 26 degrees, Amazon, a pretty normal day. Higher elevations, a little bit colder, but looking pretty normal for what they normally have there. A little bit on the cool side down at the bottom of Argentina, though, and Chile. Chile being Chile again, and sliding over the big pond, looking at New Zealand. And even though they are getting bombed with rain, they do have some warmer temperatures down on the South Island, 22 degrees down on the bottom end. A little bit cooler up in the northern portions of it, though, and the south end of the North Island a little cooler too. Northern portions are okay, and I think what's happening is this high is drawing in some of that cold air and trying to push it in here and cool things off. Now let's go over to Australia, and we see Tasmania 19 degrees on the eastern side, a little cooler on the western side, down to 12 in some spots. Hobart is coming in at what today? About 15 degrees, so not too bad. And quick peek at Australia. Oh boy, 41 is the high that I seen in here, and that is quite warm. Anyway, Melbourne 19 degrees, Adelaide coming in at 21, Sydney coming in at about 22, 23, and the home of Oz, suntan weather, and she is experiencing about 20 degrees or 26 degrees Celsius. Hey, Yvonne Kunkel made it in. Did you miss something while I was on vacation? Yeah, you missed all those pink elephants and the big eruptions all over the world. Oh, hang on, you were on vacation. You were in the woods. Glad to see you, Yvonne, and nice to have you back on board. And anyway, looking at the hot temperatures there, and of course, those are the massive volcanoes in central Australia that are causing that, right, Yvonne? Oh, hang on, Yvonne doesn't know about that. She was gone on holidays. I'm kidding. There's no volcanoes that are active. And anyway, looking at what we've got in our Malaysian, Philippine, Indonesian area, Bangkok coming in at, the map says 31 here, it says 29 from what Sue brought up. So, hey, we're going to try to split the difference, about 30 degrees Celsius there in Bangkok today. 58% relative humidity, a dry day for them. But the other areas here, about the same for the most part. They are experiencing a lot warmer temperatures. Manila, 32 degrees. Must be really hot and sweaty there. And sliding up a little bit more, looking at what we've got on the bottom end of Japan. They're back up into the 20-degree mark, which is really nice for them. Now, a lot warmer than what we've seen in the last few days. Even Tokyo is at 21, 22. But as soon as we start getting further north, we start cooling off really, really quickly. And I would not want to be on the Kamchatka Peninsula right now. We got a low sitting there, low sitting here, low sitting there, and all this cold air being blown around. That would be a horrible place. And yeah, Manila, 29, there we go. Even though it's at 31 on here, but yeah, it's still 72% relative humidity is pretty bad. We didn't look at Siberia, we didn't really need to, but minus 36, 37 up top here, 41 in some spots. And that cold will progress downward a little bit more, and we'll see what happens there. Looking at the bottom end of South Africa showing about 14, 15 at Cape Town, a little on the cool side, but I'm sure it'll warm up. And looking at, it is nighttime temperatures, by the way, down there, and even though they're underneath us or flipped upside down, it's still nighttime. Anyway, I know, being punny. And all right, 24, 23, western side of Madagascar seems to be a warm place. Might be considering moving there. I like it. Anyway, not many amenities there though, so we'll have to think about that. Central regions of our African continent, not bad. little cooler in Yemen again, and about the same as yesterday in Oman, UAE. Same thing with Saudi Arabia up in the top, still about 13 at the top end, 25 at the bottom end, or close to it. And same thing with Iraq, a little bit on the cooler side up north. And Iran getting a lot more cold up in the northern portions. Turkey looking horribly cold, and that is not so good. Hopefully they'll warm up. And of course for Piggy's area there, we did check it earlier, so she's got about 18, 19 degrees there. Steinbach is 7 degrees Celsius. Way to go, Yvonne. And why are you putting the other name behind it? Hang on. Okay, I thought you had it right. Steinbach, Germany would be better, unless that's somewhere else that you're looking at. Another Steinbach. Anyway, zooming out a little bit, and we do see here our Sicily area, a little about the same as yesterday, really. When you look there, Etna is still not cold enough to get more snow, unfortunately, and we'll see what happens. Again, shorelines are a lot warmer than the interiors, and the same thing goes for New Irish Monkland here in Sardinia, and Milano coming in only at 9 degrees today up top there. That's quite cold. And looking at Spain, they've got a lot colder weather. Again, shorelines are not bad, so definitely warmer there. A bit warmer in Portugal than Spain, but not by much. And France starting to look fairly cool as well. Only the western tips here where that wonderful air that's streaming through, compliments of the Gulf, etc., and pushing up there. That's really nice. And actually looking warmer in northern Germany than it is in the southern portions. Berlin, 8 degrees. München, or Munich, 3 degrees. Cologne is about 7 degrees. Köln, 7 Grad, yeah? And as we slide up, we take a look and see up in the Danish area, and looking not bad, 12 degrees in Copenhagen. That's not bad at all. England and Ireland, and they warmed up. Look at all that warm air blowing in there. That is awesome. So they have relatively a nice day, 14, 15 degrees there in Irish Monkland. Doolin probably coming in at about 15, and that is pretty good. Even up here in the northern parts, Scotland, not that bad. So looking pretty good, and looking at the bottom end of Sweden, and even Oslo getting into double digits today for nighttime. That is really good for them. Same thing with Stockholm, about 11 degrees. Getting a little further over, Riga, 8 degrees, and 8 degrees out here in St. Petersburg, aka Leningrad. Looking at the top end, though, we see a massive low up here. That is the good low. It's pulling all that warm air up, and that's what we want to see. And that is obviously going to put warmer air up against Iceland as well, and we'll take a look there, see what we've got. Reykjavik, only 1 degree though, and that is too cold, and our Ragnar area would be about 2-3 degrees right now. Don't look at it, Doc. Okay, I won't. By the way, Yvonne, there's a small swarm north of Siggy Fisher. Kind of not all the way to Kaleer, but there is definitely a swarm it's all 5 to 6 kilometers down, but there's quite a few of those little quakes, just so you know, and that's always nice. Okay, Yvonne, get some sleep, rest well, and take care of yourself. We're going to do precipitation now, a real peak, and we'll see what we've got. Looking at Alaska and the Yukon, some snow happening there. Northern British Columbia still got a little bit of snow, not that bad though. Looks like this high is keeping things a little bit drier, and most of the Northwest Territories and portions of Nunavut right beside the Hudson's Bay are not bad, and then the top end of the prairie provinces are looking not bad. We do see this high here, and of course that low that is being generated over here, and that is causing all kinds of rain and snow and ice rain along that area, and that is from, I guess we could say, North Dakota and bottom end of Manitoba, northern portions of Ontario, and all the way over, and that's all the way into Quebec as well. Looking at what we've got on the eastern side, here in New Brunswick, a little bit of rain. We do see the from Quebec to the east of the St. Lawrence Seaway is a little bit rainy there, and looking at what we see in, I guess it'd be northeastern portions of Nova Scotia has got some water. Same thing with rain coming down in Newfoundland. Labrador and the other side of the fence here is getting some snow in those good places, and we'll leave them be with that. And of course this from all the way from Oklahoma City all the way up across the U.S. is seeing that independent ridge line, and of course warm on this side, cold on that side, and that is the way it is. And then of course here is Nicole, and that is of course that storm that had made landfall somewhere around Orlando area, and kind of migrated up here, and that is what we're seeing right now. And that is, I guess, well, I don't want to call it nasty, but it is not as bad as it could have been, and should be all right. Anyway, that is what we've got there, and then the extra storms that are still to come up, and I don't know what's going to happen with those sliding down. Looking at Mexico starting to clear up a little bit. We're seeing that low here. There's that low here, another low there. Probably some more storms going to develop, likely another one right in here. I don't know what else is going to come that way. We do see this in here, and I don't see any other lows right now other than this one. So we may end up getting another depression here somewhere and another storm working in. We'll see what happens. South America, spotty with rain all over the place, but you know, Amazon, you'd expect that. And then nice to see some rain in Argentina as well, and Paraguay, and even portions of northern tip of Uruguay, and all over Brazil, little spots. Nothing major or organized. And here's what Grenzed was talking about. Peltering down rain, that low just beside New Zealand is drawing all that moisture down. Of course, that is a mix of the high bringing in the cold air, and of course that low drawing down the warm air. The two are mixing, and you end up with a lot of rain. We have a low sitting down here, and bottom end of New Zealand, not bad. And of course, the nicer temperatures that they are experiencing in Tasmania comes along with, of course, some rain. And looking at the breadbasket area here, they too have some rain in Australia, which is really nice. Melbourne That's why his barbecue isn't working. And Leo has probably got the barbecue wet again. Anyway, we do see some rain spots in other places, likely welcome. We do see this low in here as well. And I don't know what's going to happen with this. It's going to move on. It's kind of two lows. They're doubling up, and that'll end up moving, I think, upward and this way. If I'm correct, we'll see what goes in a little while. Quick peek out here at Fiji and Tonga area getting some rain. Same thing with Vanuatu. It looks like a little drier there in New Caledonia, but that's okay. And of course, some rain happening in Papua New Guinea and the lots in Indonesia. And this seems to be a very, very wet area in their springtime. And of course, it is springtime there. That's what they're suffering through. We do see some snow in China, and that is kind of scary as well. And actually, not bad looking around. We got that high in the Sea of Japan. That's probably helping the Japanese people there a little bit. And there's that low sitting off of Kamchatka. It is doing a number on them. So they're getting a bunch of snow there. And then, of course, we have the other low sitting here. And that is in the Aleutian Islands. And that is getting some of that. Actually, that's pulling up some warmer air. And it's keeping it a little bit nicer there. Otherwise, it would be same thing as Kamchatka over here. Very cold. And we do see another low fighting here off the northern coast in between British Columbia and Alaska. And of course, this high sitting here. Hope that pushes in and gets rid of this stuff, pushes it up. Would be nice. And let's see what else we got down here. Africa. Lots of rain, rainy season, and that is kind of neat. And you know, I do have to say something about that. Okay, and I'm not trying to belittle anyone or anything when I say this, but when I was living over in Millwoods there in my other apartment, and we had what they call a low-income housing across the street, and of course there were some people there that were, well, we'll call them new Canadians, and they were from, I do believe, from Ethiopia, and it was kind of an amazing sight. Of course, it started raining, and of course most of us here in Edmonton, when it starts raining, we go inside because it's yucky, right? And they all came out of their home, and they're standing there and they're dancing around in the rain. And at first I thought to myself, well, what the heck is wrong with these people? And then, snap, I realized rain for them only comes a couple times a year. And it is amazing that, you see them coming out and literally looking up at the rain clouds and letting the rain hit their faces and stuff, and not realizing that, they're from a very desert-like environment, and it's just a different place that they come from. And it may have looked odd to someone who lives in a climate where we get regular rain, but for them, the rain was something special. And in Africa, that's exactly what it is. It's life. So it's interesting to see the different cultures. And like I say, I mean that in a good way. It's just sometimes we take things for granted that everybody should know what rain is, and everybody should know what snow is. And again, I'm going to take another example of what some people may not be familiar with. And in a nice conversation with Oz the other day, we were talking about stuff, and Oz had never heard of ice rain before. And that was something unique to me as well. And, again, we're not belittling anyone. It's just they're not used to that in their climate. That's a completely different location. And it is different. And it's interesting to be able to observe that. And in a way, I consider myself kind of lucky having been in different climates, from being way up north to in the very, very cold weathers. Minus 49 degrees Celsius is the lowest temperature that I've been in. Never mind the wind chill, that was the actual temperature. And to me, that is cold enough. Trust me, it is cold enough. A lot of people would have never ever experienced something like that, and it is what it is. So we sometimes, like I say, we take things for granted, and we shouldn't. We got to understand different people from different places, different cultures, different climates, and it's all that way. So everyone's on this big spaceship Earth all together, and we're floating through the galaxy, through our universe, and we all kind of got to get along with each other and understand it, right? When I lived in southern Louisiana 8 long years, there were kids 7 years old who had never seen snow. And I believe that, Grandma B, and that is something too. When, of course, my dear Bree, when talking with her, she had only experienced snow 3 times in her life when she was growing up. She experienced snow after they moved around a little bit and traveled to some places, but she had never really had chances to go play in the snow. And one of her dream items was she wanted to make snow angels. And, being here in Edmonton, hey, go outside. You want snow? There's all kinds of it, right? But again, we take those things for granted, and some people don't see it. I've been in a desert. I know what that is like. I've been in very cold places. I've been in very wet places. Vancouver Island. I've been up to the Queen Charlotte Islands, where literally it's a rainforest. It is the only Canadian rainforest, by the way, that we officially have, but Queen Charlotte Islands. And when you think, oh, it rains a lot where you are, try taking all the rain that you ever seen and dump it down on top of you in about 2 hours. Okay, and I'm talking everything that you have, and it is pretty wild. Children have been born here that have never seen rain. Wow, Oz. And that is tremendous too. And again, this is, it's no belittlement. It's just we have to open our eyes and really understand those people from those different countries may not have ever seen that. And, when somebody stands out there with their hands up and looking at the sky when it's raining, we have to understand that, hey, this may be a new experience for them. And it's awesome to see that and their reactions, right? It's a whole bunch different than, like I say, what we take for granted. Anyway, looking at the rest of what we've got going on here in Europe, looks like foggy in places like a little bit in Spain, and then of course France and the bottom end of Germany, where it's a little cooler. We see that, and all that warm, brisk weather that they're enjoying in Ireland and England, not bad. top end though, Scotland, all that warm is also giving them a pile of rain. And also seeing the entire coast along here in Norway, rain and stormy, and then getting up a little further and we turn into snow and some ice rain across the top end of, or I guess we call it the higher middle portions there of Sweden. Not so bad in Finland though. They do have some snow up in the top, a little bit of ice rain over here in Russia as well, and of course raining in Moscow. Sliding over and having a look here before we zoom in, there it is, seeing the systems around there, and we do see this. There looks like a low here pulling up some warmer air, hitting the bottom end of the southwestern portions of Iceland, keeping it a little warmer, but we do see that snow, ice rain as well, and in the northern and eastern portions. So that's what we've got there, and that looks pretty cool. Anyway, I think that is about it, and we'll put it on the temperature map again, and we will find our coldest place on the planet, and that will be kind of interesting. Minus 57 is the colder one I see so far. Let's see if we can find something a little bit cooler than minus 57. And do we have anything? I don't know. I don't know where it is. Minus 50 down here, minus 40, and 54, 59, 56, and 58, 59, 60, and there we go, a minus 60 degrees Celsius. And let's see if we can find something a little bit cooler than a minus 60 degrees that I seen in there, and I don't see it anymore. Okay, so minus 59 and 58. Where's my minus 60? I had minus 60 on the screen. That's what I'm going to go stick with. There it is, minus 60, and all right, I am at minus 60 degrees Celsius. Oh, Sue found minus 61. Sue, way to go. You get the feeding trip down to the penguins. Penguins are moving to the coast now. Time to swim. And yep, I would think that the penguins would be Oz. That would be pretty awesome. And yep, Sue wins, and she can swim to there with the penguins and get all warm and chilly and warm and cuddly and have babies and stuff. Boy, that is cold, minus 60 for there. But hey, that is what it is. That's warm though. And of course up here we have a minus 40, 41 in Greenland right now. No penguins though. They have no idea that place exists. They like Australia. They go there in the their winter time, and they bask in the sunshine. So that's it for today, you guys, and we'll put you back onto the canned lava, and that can is still very, very large. Let's see if we can advance it just a little bit to see if there's more plumes coming up. And oh yeah, there, we got it to light up a little bit. All right, I will leave it there, let it play. That can is still more than half full, and we'll have lots of fun. Okay, Sue Hayes, and yeah, it is so much fun. We like doing that though. I do appreciate, you know, and I hope everyone else can appreciate it here too, that, you know, we take things for granted sometimes, and we don't realize, how things are for other people. And, like even taking as an example the storms that go through Florida, like Nicole, what is the hottest temp? That's 40 degrees or 41 degrees in Australia, Oz. That's what we've got. And I do believe it was, where is it? Right about there. 40 degrees, and that's all I seen. Unless there's a 41 in here somewhere, but 40 Celsius. Oh, there is a 41. Right there. 41 degrees. Australia. Oz, you get the hot temperature today. And that is hotter than Death Valley. That is hotter than Saudi Arabia. That's hotter than the Sahara Desert. So that is where it is, 40 degrees Celsius, and that is, or 41, somewhere thereabouts. That is plenty warm. And first time I saw a desert, I was 11 years old when I visited Arizona. And yeah, it's different, isn't it, Sue? And when you see like being from Germany, of course, when you lived in Canada, you seen what we have, basically the same kinds of trees and stuff there in Ontario, and that similar to Germany. When I moved out to the west, I didn't realize that the climate was so much different when, of course, we moved as a family. And when I got my trips down to Belize and those places, of course, going via Texas and that, you experience different things. But also my drive down into Utah and places like that, you wouldn't expect it to be what it is. It is different. And seeing cactus growing on the sides of the road, in the ditches and places like that, those are things that, you may live there. Arizona Snowman is here. Welcome, Arizona Snowman. And he's exactly the kind of guy, he's used to seeing desert-like stuff, and he's used to seeing cactus, and we of course don't see that up here. There are no cactus growing. We have pokey things, but no cactus. Okay, but anyway, I'm going to leave it there, you guys, and I hope that is all kind of some interesting stuff for all of you guys. Anyway, for those who haven't hit that like button yet, please, if you can, give it a quick shot. It would be really, really awesome. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that was here. And, of course, having every one of you here in the Lava family is all awesome. And thank you to the moderators, of course, Arizona Snowman, Piggy, CND Boy, and also 24/7 Live. He's at Skies hiding in the background somewhere, as well as Lucas Snow and Joseph Fields. And on those notes, that's thank you to the mods. Thank you to all the lavaliers. Thank you for your wonderful support. Piggy was the only one that did a £2 super chat there today. Thank you very kindly, Piggy, for that. And Oz gifted one membership out today, and nice to see that went to someone right away as well. And on that friendly note, we will leave it be. Be good, be kind, take care of yourselves. And of course, tomorrow is Friday, and we will have our regular show Friday night as per usual. And take care, y'all, and be good. And please make sure that you all tell your loved ones that you love them tonight, for tomorrow is never promised. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in cold Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, the Great White North. We'll see you all tomorrow, and take care. Oink, oink. Yes, please remember and stay oink oink.